Gotta be true to yourself. In a world there's nothing else. Gotta play the game right, gotta make your path. You scratch, you dig, you lay in your ground. You bustin' your rounds, nobody gon' stop you. No ops, no cops, everything about you. Looking good, you good, she good. Y'all people really wanna know the reason? It's that ripple effect. That's just that ripple. That's just that ripple effect. What you do, come back triple.
Hey, what's going on? It's your girl Kdot back in the ripple effect. You already know what it is, and you already know the vibes. Shout out to all the supporters. Thank you very much. Appreciate everything you guys do. It can't be said enough. Listen, it's Motivational Monday. One piece of advice before I really get into it. Make sure you start accomplishing your goal today, right? What do I mean by that? I mean, even if it's just the littlest step in that direction, it doesn't matter. It's headed towards what you're trying to do. If you're trying to go back to school, fill out that college application today, right? If there's a job that you really want, start putting together that resume, start figuring out what qualifications do I need in order to obtain this job. If you want to go into business for yourself, start off by getting that LLC. You know, do your due diligence at the end of the day. Don't be left with regret. I promise you, it's worth it. It may not work in your time, and as you already know, if you're an adult, things don't work in your time frame. You may have a time frame for yourself for whatever reason, but one thing that you do need to know is that life does put you through adversity. It does put you through different tests, and sometimes you don't even understand what it is, but understand that it's building you up to get to where you want to be. I don't care what you believe in, but that's what life is doing for you, okay? And just stay the course. That's all I can tell you, is hit the ground running. If you're really serious about it. I mean, I can't really, sometimes you tell people that and they're just kind of just over the head, and then I guess it wasn't that serious. But if this is everything, when I mean everything, I mean this is everything. This is what you're put on this planet to do. If this is what you want to leave behind, your legacy, you need to be doing that. You need to be spending most time doing that. And I get it, for different reasons, maybe you can't. But start today. This should be the day that you say, hey, the year's almost over. Let me not wait for the new year, new me. Even though I know a lot of people get a lot of flack for that, for kind of saying that. And at the end of the day, I don't knock nobody. If you're trying to change, like by you saying it publicly and trying to change and trying to put that pressure on yourself, I respect you for that, honestly. I mean, it takes a lot to do that. And there's a lot of naysayers. Like, it's so easy to be a critic nowadays, right? I mean, but one thing I can tell you about critics is they're usually not the ones at the top. The ones at the top are not paying attention to nobody else. Trust me, they're in their own lane and they're looking forward. They're trying to look. They're also taking a peek back because they don't want to repeat things. But they're moving forward and they're in their own lane. More importantly, so let's get it done, right? Let's get it done. Don't waste any time. I'm telling you this for a reason, and let's get it. So Thanksgiving is coming up. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. In case I don't make any more content until then, because I have my family obligations too. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing everything that I have to do beforehand. So make sure you spend some time with your family. That's very, 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 very important. I know life is busy. I know a lot of people, are doing their own thing, and maybe they have family that's far away. But please, please, please make it your best effort to make sure you spend time with your family, because at the end of the day, that's what matters the most. I know a lot of us realized that during the pandemic, right? When you literally couldn't go see people for, obvious reasons. But now, things are kind of, I don't want to say getting back to normal. I don't feel like, but they are. Like, they're back to where we need them to be. You can go travel, you can go see your family, they can come see you. Because, you just never know. And I say things like that because there's so many tragic things that are going on that I definitely want to make note of, because I'm not oblivious to it. I do understand the tragedy going on in Virginia University with those, the football team. It's tragic. Shout out, prayers definitely going to the families and everybody involved, period. Whether it's, professors, the student body, it doesn't matter. It's just tragic all around that people have to, that we still live in times like this, and Colorado Springs and what just hit there. It's very unfortunate, and I hope that we're not just kind of getting desensitized by all this and kind of just saying, oh, there's another one, and then moving on about our day. I hope we're really, taking this in, and it really does hit home to the point where we want to change, right? That's where real change comes into play, when you're just tired of it, right? Like, if you ever think of like your biggest moments and where you changed and was able to overcome something, it's because you was tired of whatever it is that was old, right? You were tired of it that much that it made you want to step outside of your comfort zone, right? And do what it needs to be done. And that's all I have to say about that. It's just very tragic. Definitely prayers all around. Unbelievable, right? But getting back to happier things, Black Friday's coming up. Why do I mention Black Friday, you may ask? That's such a great question. Because I have a store on Etsy, right? So I have nice gear. I have some hoodies, I have some sweatshirts, I have some beanies, because, it's cold out there. It's getting crazy out there. I also have some rain jackets, some mugs for the coffee people, you already know. And I just put a 20% discount on all of it. No limited items, no minimum buys, none of that. Everything in the store, 20%. Don't even worry about it. And if you spend a certain amount, you're gonna get free shipping. How about that? Like, and if you guys plan on, maybe getting this for like either a gift or you want it by a certain date, please order it soon, because it's while supplies last as well. Or you don't want to have to wait until like after the holidays and things, because people are really out here shopping. That's the majority of, I feel like, what I do. It's not even my content. I kind of just come over here and just go off the cuff. But this store is, whoever is, out there and really providing for the store, I appreciate y'all. Y'all definitely keeping me busy and keeping me on my toes. I gotta design more stuff, and I really gotta get back at it. But y'all already know it's already. Let's get into this sports thing. Let's get into, first off, shout outs to Kevin Durant, right? I have to say that because at the end of the day, we're always getting on athletes for not being accountable and not doing this, not doing that, right? Everybody's a critic, but at the end of the day, I want to give praise when it's possible, right? When there's room to, I feel like I want to be that person to just sit there and just say, you know what? He deserves props for that. Now, if you don't know why, you gotta pay attention, but it's okay. I'm here to give it to you. This is what I'm here for. So, Kevin Durant, as you know, on a podcast a while ago, it was actually on a show. It was Chris Haynes. So he was sitting there and he was like, listen, so what's going on? And Kevin Durant's just like, listen, like, everybody expects me to win. Like, you expect me to win with Clax, Royce and Joe Harris, like calling all these guys out by name. Like you expect me to win with these guys? Come on. Come on. Giving you like the Ben Simmons the other day during the post conference. He was like, Philly? Like, come on. Like, we ain't winning, guys. Like, we ain't winning. Like, this is what y'all gave me. This is what's going on. Y'all see all the drama. What are you talking about, right? So, Kevin Durant, and I got on him for that because I thought that was crazy. Like, you in a whole locker room, if anybody's ever been on a team, like, imagine somebody calling you out like that and then him coming in the locker room and you're like, yo, this guy. Like, I get it. You're Kevin Durant, but bro, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I know a lot about sponsorships and different things, and if you're one of the guys on those teams and you're trying to get into a sponsorship, obviously, and you're trying to elevate your game, you're not helping. When the best player in your team say, yo, my guys ain't. You messing up deals before they even get brought to the table, bro. Like, that just was not cool at all. But I had to give you the whole thing, because if you didn't see my last episode, then you're just not gonna know. So I'm trying to give you the whole thing. So anyways, but Kevin Durant did clear things up on his podcast. He was like, listen, oh man, like that sounds terrible. He was like, I felt bad. I didn't even want to go in front of these guys. Like, it was that bad. Like, I felt bad. Like, I had to text them. I had to be like, yo, it wasn't supposed to be like that. I was actually trying to protect my guys because I wanted, the media and everybody else to just kind of leave us alone and give us time to grow and kind of, be the player that we were meant to be. Because right now, obviously, we're not there yet. Like, we don't have that talent You know what I mean? That's already at its full potential. Like the talent's there, but it just hasn't reached that potential yet. Give us time to grow. Give us time to gel. Give us time to move past all of the, you know, speculations and drama and everything past it. Like let's chill, you know? And it's like, I respect that. I'm sorry. Like, I respect that because he held himself accountable. He even said, wow, like, I could have worded that better. Like, yo, Kevin Durant, like, that was huge. Like, because people are always, taking shots at him and saying, yo, he's not a leader, you know, and this is what we're talking about. Like, those are leadership skills. Like, that's something, I can't say you can't teach it, because of course you can, but you can't teach it to some people who just don't want to learn it, right? Some people are just so stuck in their ways, Zach Wilson, you know, they're just haven't reached that level of maturity yet in order to be able to get to that point where you're kind of like, yo, I wish I could have that one back, because the way that sound, and because obviously I said it and I know what I meant and I know my heart and I know where I'm coming from, but not everybody knows that. I can't expect everybody to know that. That's just crazy. And athletes always like to talk about, especially, you know, the celebrity athletes, meaning, or the elite athletes, always saying, you know, the media and everybody else is trying to dehumanize them. You know what I mean? In a way of, you know, putting them on such a level where they can't mess up. Like, they're imperfect and they have, I'm sorry, but they're perfect and they have to be that way every second, every minute of the day, even through adversity, even through frustration, you know, right after running up and down the court, you know, where oxygen hasn't even reached your brain yet, you know, at full capacity. You know, there's a lot expected of you, you know, and a lot of times some athletes don't help that by kind of putting themselves above all and not wanting to ever admit when you're wrong. Because if you don't admit when you're wrong and you have people acting like you're always perfect, then you kind of, you know, you're helping perpetuating that narrative of yourself, whether that's true or not. I get being defensive, because that's annoying as heck. Like, who wants to keep dealing with that, right? Like, having a mic in front of your face just for people to just misconstrue it and say whatever it is that they want to say anyway. I totally get that. But the fact that Kevin Durant made himself human, he humanized himself in front of, you know what I mean? But he was in his comfort zone. He was on his podcast, which is why I said podcasts are great for athletes, because they can be able to, you know, voice their opinion in a comfortable manner where they're not worried about what they're going to say so much that it still comes out wrong anyway. You might as well just be yourself. And if it came out wrong, just say, hey, I didn't look at it that way. My bad. But Kevin Durant actually taking that responsibility and saying, listen, I messed up. Like, that was not cool. I put myself in your shoes, and the way I would have heard it was like, we're gonna have a conversation, because that's crazy for you to say. You know, you're literally trying to divide the locker room, you know, especially with, you know, Jacques Vaughn just got in there trying to, you know, reestablish the culture after Steve Nash and everything, because obviously everything was all over the place. And, you know, you have guys kind of taking on their own forms of leadership, you know, but not incongruent with the whole team, just kind of just doing their own thing. And that just shows a lot of leadership on Kevin Durant's part, by just showing ownership, putting himself in other people's, you know, shoes, seeing it from a different perspective, and ultimately taking accountability and apologizing for it and saying, hey, I wish I could have had that one back. I didn't mean that. I actually meant to protect my guys, but I actually made them look bad, and that's on me. Like, I own that. I should have said it better. And the fact that he did that, kudos to him. Like, that's what's up. That's what a leader does, right? Do you know what leaders don't do? They don't sit there and say, after a question that was given to them that was specifically actually what could have been a home run for you. A home run as a leader, as a young leader of a New York team. When Zach Wilson decided to say, no, like, when asked if he let his defense down, not he as an individual, meaning his offense, and he is the head of such offense, right? Under the offensive coordinator, right? And under Robert, obviously, the head coach. But for him to just say, no, we didn't let the defense down. Like, 3 points was more than enough to win a game. Like come on. Excuse me. And our defense only held them to 3. Like, no, we didn't let them. No, wasn't us. Wasn't me. That's for sure. It wasn't me. obviously it's a bit of hyperbole, but you get where I'm going with this. How do you say no? And you know what? While we all taking accountability, I'm sorry, Jets fans. I lied to you. I'm so sorry. Like, I told you guys to pump the brakes, chill. He's young, he's still growing, he's still trying to figure it out. And that's the case with a lot of young quarterbacks coming into the league trying to figure things out, right? I mean, look at Tyler Heineke, right? He searched his whole life to try to get to this moment where he can lead a football team, and he's doing it right now. Carson Wentz is making him look like he should have been the starter all along. Like, I don't even know what y'all even looking at in preseason to make Wentz start over, Heineke. And that's just simple, right? It's all about where you're drafted. Like, Carson Wentz was drafted so high that people just have to believe that this wasn't a mistake. So the fact that you have Zach Wilson just not taking any accountability, and that stuff, I'm not going to say you can't teach it. It's just so hard to teach people things like that when they don't feel like they did anything wrong. And I'm not even trying to say he said that. But he just said it like so arrogantly, so like almost like, I don't even want to say it like an Aaron Rodgers type of arrogance, because I don't know why he would have that type of arrogance. But that's just the feeling you got from it. And, obviously on a much smaller, angle, I would say he was giving me a lot of Baker Mayfield vibes. Like, that was like the first thing I thought, because I'm just like, bruh, like, you got to show some responsibility. It can't just be everybody else. Absolutely not. You got wide receivers pretty much calling you out without calling you out, but we know it. Like, it's like Keyshawn Johnson was saying earlier. He was like, I speak receiver. I know what he was talking about. And it's not even like